Welcome back to No Passport Required, where you can travel the world from the comfort of your favorite chair. So, travel guides show you this. A perfect photo of a landmark, probably surrounded by a sea of people just out of frame. But they miss this. The quiet moments. The vast empty stretches of highway where the mountains feel like they belong only to you. That unexpected wildlife sighting that makes your heart stop. This isn't just another travel vlog. This is the real deal. An itinerary for the raw, unfiltered beauty of the Canadian wilderness. I'm going to show you the most spectacular lakes, how to find wildlife, and the landscapes that define Western Canada, completely unfiltered. Let's hit the road. Welcome back to No Passport Required, where you can travel the world from the comfort of your favorite chair. Most travel guides, they show you the postcards, the perfect polished shots of famous lakes and viewpoints. But they almost always miss the journey itself. They miss the raw, unfiltered beauty of the Canadian wilderness that you can only really find on the road. This isn't just another travel vlog, this is the ultimate road trip itinerary, focusing only on the most spectacular lakes, the most incredible wildlife, and the landscapes that truly define Western Canada. I drove from the Pacific Ocean to the heart of the Rocky Mountains, and I'm going to show you what this drive is really like. Every great road trip needs a starting point, and ours is Vancouver. But we're not sticking around. Think of the city as our launch pad. We're grabbing a quick coffee on Granville Island, taking one last look at the ocean from Stanley Park, and then we're out. The real journey begins the second you cross the Lions Gate Bridge and hit the Sea to Sky Highway. This isn't just a road, it's a portal. On one side, you've got the deep blue of the Howe Sound Fjord. On the other, the coastal mountains rise up like a giant, formidable wall. The air even changes out here. It feels cleaner, wilder. Our first stop is Shannon Falls, this massive cascade of water thundering down a cliffside just a short walk from the highway. It's the perfect spot to stretch your legs and have that wow moment where you realize just how fast the city disappears behind you. A little further up is Squamish, a town literally living in the shadow of the Stawamus Chief, a massive granite monolith. Then you hit Whistler. Now everyone knows it as a world-class resort, but we're here for the nature that surrounds it. The stunning alpine lakes like Lost Lake or the almost impossibly green Green Lake. This part of the drive is where you really understand the name Sea to Sky. You feel it in your ears as you climb, leaving the ocean far below and heading straight for the clouds. After Whistler, the landscape does something pretty incredible. It completely transforms. The lush green coastal rainforest just gives way to the semi-arid sagebrush-covered hills of British Columbia's interior. This is a part of the drive a lot of people just blast through to get to the Rockies, but they're missing out. The beauty here is more subtle, but it's vast. The mountains are a bit softer, the valleys are wider, and you start to get a true sense of the immense scale of this province. We'll pass through Kamloops, and then the journey pushes east toward Revelstoke. This is where the mountains make their big comeback, but they're different now. They feel older, bigger. Revelstoke is an awesome town nestled between the Selkirk and Monashee ranges, surrounded by ancient forests and some seriously impressive peaks. This is where you start to feel the true wilderness closing in. Just past Revelstoke is Glacier National Park, and no, not the one in Montana. This place is rugged. It's defined by its steep, unforgiving terrain and, you guessed it, over 100 active glaciers. We're not talking about gentle, rolling hills anymore. This is a landscape carved by ice over millennia, with deep valleys and waterfalls that seem to just appear out of nowhere. It's a powerful, humbling reminder of nature's force. If Revelstoke and Glacier were the appetizers, then Yoho National Park is the main course. Honestly, crossing into Yoho feels like you've stumbled upon a hidden secret. Banff gets all the fame, but Yoho delivers some of the most jaw-dropping scenery in the entire Rockies and often with way fewer people. It might be smaller than Banff, but it packs a serious punch. Our first stop is a place that you just have to see to believe, Emerald Lake. And that name is not an exaggeration. The water is this vivid, milky turquoise, a color so intense it almost looks fake. You have to rent a canoe and paddle out into the middle of the lake. It's an essential experience. From the center, surrounded by towering peaks and dense forest, the whole world just goes silent. It's just you, your paddle dipping into that surreal water and the immense quiet wilderness. But Yoho has another giant to show us. Takaka Falls. At 373 meters, it's one of the highest waterfalls in Canada. You can hear its roar long before you see it, and as you walk the path to the base, the spray literally mists your face. It's a display of raw, natural power that makes you feel incredibly small in the best way possible. This park is a kingdom all its own, and the perfect primer for what's coming. Alright, just pausing for a second here at the edge of this insane waterfall. The journey so far has been absolutely breathtaking, from the coast all the way to these colossal peaks. I have to ask, what's the most awe-inspiring natural wonder you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you're finding this unfiltered itinerary helpful for planning your own adventure, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It helps a ton and you won't want to miss what's next. Trust me. And now, we arrive at the names you've been waiting for, Lake Louise and Moraine Lake. These are the crown jewels of the Canadian Rockies, and for good reason. They are, without a shred of exaggeration, two of the most beautiful places on Earth. But let's be real for a moment. Visiting them isn't always the serene, peaceful experience you see in photos. Their fame brings challenges. First, the practical stuff. You can no longer drive your personal car to Moraine Lake. Access is restricted to shuttles and commercial tours, so you absolutely have to plan ahead. Reservations for the Parks Canada shuttle open months in advance and they sell out lightning fast. They do release a portion of tickets 2 days prior, so you have a second chance if you're quick. For Lake Louise, the parking lot is often full before sunrise. Seriously, taking a shuttle is the only stress-free way to guarantee you'll see these lakes. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about the magic. Seeing Lake Louise for the first time is a moment that will be burned into your memory. That iconic turquoise water with the Victoria Glacier perched at the far end is just breathtaking. Moraine Lake, nestled in the Valley of the Ten Peaks, might just be even more stunning. The color of that water is a shade of blue so vibrant and surreal it almost seems to glow. The absolute best times to see it are at sunrise or sunset, when the light paints the peaks in shades of pink and orange. While you're here, keep your eyes peeled. This area is prime habitat for grizzly bears, black bears, and smaller critters like marmots and pikas. Seeing a grizzly foraging on a hillside from a safe distance is an experience that connects you right to the wild heart of this place. Our final destination is Banff, but the journey isn't quite over. The town of Banff is charming, nestled comfortably among giants like Mount Rundle and Cascade Mountain. But the real soul of the park is found outside the town. Johnston Canyon offers an amazing hike along a catwalk bolted directly to the canyon walls, leading you through a deep limestone gorge to powerful waterfalls, and Vermilion Lakes at sunrise. That's where you get that classic reflection shot of Mount Rundle, a truly peaceful and spectacular way to start the day. And then, there's the grand finale of the road trip itself, the Icefields Parkway. This 233-kilometer stretch of highway connecting Lake Louise to Jasper is consistently called one of the most scenic drives in the world, and it does not disappoint. This isn't a highway to get somewhere. The highway is the destination. Every single turn in the road reveals a new, more spectacular view than the last. You'll drive alongside massive glaciers, past impossible blue lakes like Peyto Lake and Bow Lake, and under the shadow of jagged, snow-dusted peaks. A crucial tip: fill up your gas tank before you leave Lake Louise. There's only one gas station along the way, and it's notoriously expensive. Pack a lunch because you're going to want to stop at one of the dozens of scenic picnic spots. Wildlife viewing here is almost a guarantee, especially at dawn and dusk when animals are most active. Drive slowly and scan the roadsides. You'll likely see elk, bighorn sheep, and maybe even a mountain goat. Just always remember these are wild animals. Keep a safe distance, never ever feed them, and respect their home. This drive is the culmination of everything: the scale, the beauty, and the untamed spirit of Western Canada. Driving from Vancouver to Banff is so much more than a road trip. It's a journey through some of the most diverse and stunning landscapes on the entire planet. From coastal fjords to the arid desert interior and finally to the colossal peaks and glacier-fed lakes of the Rockies, every single kilometer offers something new. This trip isn't about ticking boxes, it's about that feeling you get when you're the only car on the road, with a wall of rock on one side and a pristine river on the other. It's about the thrill of spotting a bear in the wild and the quiet awe of watching a sunrise over a turquoise lake. This is the unfiltered Western Canada. It's raw, it's vast, and it's profoundly beautiful. It's a journey that reminds you just how wild our world can still be. So plan your own adventure. Take the detours, embrace the long drives, and see it all for yourself. You won't regret it. Thanks for coming along for the ride. If you want to see more adventures like this, make sure you're subscribed. Now go explore.